Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a tutorial on this Cranberry half cut crease using the Modern Renaissance palette. So if you want to see how I got this look, keep on watching.
First I'm going to be using the Becca Liquid Shimmering Skin Perfector as my primer in the shade Opal. And then for foundation, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. This is one of my first times using it, and I absolutely love it. And it's also only $5.99, so you can't really go wrong with that. And then for concealer, I'm going to be using the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer in the shade Vanilla. Nothing new here. And I'm just going to put this underneath my eyes, on my forehead, and the bridge of my nose. You know, just draw some lines, connect some dots. And then we blend. Another little trick that I like to use when I'm blending out my concealer is when I'm all done, I like pounce over my whole face with my beauty blender just to make sure like there's no streaks in my foundation. It just makes everything look more flawless. To set my under eyes and my eyelids, I am using the RCMA No Color Powder, and I just like to press this into my under eyes and then buff it out. And then to set the rest of my face, I am using the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, and I'm just going to put that everywhere where I didn't put the RCMA powder. And then to contour, I'm using the shade Bone by MAC, and I'm using a brush by Morphe, and I really like this brush because it's fluffy, so it doesn't make my contour look as sharp. And then just to kind of clean up a little bit, I'm just going to go back in with my damp beauty blender and pick up some of the RCMA powder to bake. And then to bronze, I am using Benefit Hoola Bronzer, which is definitely one of my favorite bronzers that I can finally use again since I'm starting to get a little bit more tan. And I'm just going to pretty much put this in my hairline. I bronzed a little bit extra just because I got a big forehead, and this makes it look smaller. And for highlight today, I'm going to be using a couple different ones. I'm going to start with a cream highlighter from Colourpop. And to apply this, I'm just going to use my finger. I've found that this is the easiest way for me to personally apply cream highlighters because I seem to get a little messy if I use a beauty blender. And then I'm going to be going over top of that with Peach Goddess by Jeffree Star Cosmetics. This is also one of my favorite highlighters, and the pan is freaking huge, so I probably won't ever run out of it, which is another reason why I love it. And then after highlighting my cheeks, I'm also going to put some on my nose and on my cupid's bow. And then for blush, I'm going to be using a shade from Tarte. I don't really remember the name, but it's in a super cute palette that has like 10 different blushes in it. So it's a really good thing to have if you want to not spend a lot of money and get a variety of blushes. And then I'm just going to dust away the translucent powder from where I was baking. And I'm going to pick up the same brush that I used to contour with, just to kind of buff it out to make it look more like blended out and so it doesn't look too sharp. And now I'm going to move on to eyes, and for today's look I'm going to be using the Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to start with using the shade Love Letter, and it's just going to go in my outer V, and I'm going to wing this out and really buff it into my crease. The red shades in this palette might be a little intimidating to use at first, but if you just apply them with a light hand and really blend them out, it shouldn't be any problem. And next, using a pencil brush, I'm going to go in with the shade Venetian Red, and it's just a little bit deeper than the first color I used. And I'm going to put that in the outer V just to kind of make it look a little bit more smokier and darker. After that, I'm going to pick up the first brush I was using just to kind of blend it all together so there's no harsh lines. And then after I'm done blending that, I'm going to pick up a fluffy blending brush that doesn't have any product on it whatsoever and just really go over it a couple of times to make sure it's all blended out. After that, I'm going to pick up the pencil brush again, and I'm going to mix Love Letter and Venetian Red and put this on my lower lash line, and I'm going to bring it all the way into the inner corner. After that, I'm going to put a little bit of concealer on a flat brush to cut the crease, and I'm only going to go halfway in, and then I'm just going to blend it out over the eyelid. Next, I'm going to wet my brush with some Fix Plus, and then I'm going to be picking up the shade Tempera, and it's just like a shimmery white shade, and I'm going to put this directly over top of where I put the concealer. And then after I do that, I'm going to pick up another fluffy brush with a little bit of the shade Love Letter again, just to kind of blend out the edges from like the cranberry shades to the white so it doesn't look like a harsh line. For this look, I'm not going to be doing a wing, but I am going to line my lash line so you can't really see the band when I put on my false lashes. And I'm using the KatVonD tattoo liner in the shade Trooper. And while the lash glue dries on my falsies, I'm just going to give my eyelashes a quick coat of mascara. I actually don't know what this mascara is called. I got it in one of my monthly subscription boxes, but when I find out, I'll put it in the description box below with the rest of the products that I'm using. The lashes I'm using today are the Ardell Wispies. These are by far my favorite drugstore lashes. You can get like a 3-pack of them for like $4, and they look kind of natural but still give you like that dramatic look at the same time. And I always apply my lashes using like long tweezers. It's okay to use your fingers. It's actually probably a little easier. I just use tweezers so I can put them closer to my lash line, but just be careful if you're doing it that way because it's very easy to poke your eyes. I do it all the time and it hurts really bad.
So I went ahead and did my other eye and applied my lipstick off camera. I am using the shade Khlo Money by Kylie Cosmetics, and this is the finished look. I wouldn't necessarily do this much in the spring just because these are more like winter shades to me, but I had a couple people asking me to do a look using only the Modern Renaissance palette, so this is what I came up with. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe. Also, make sure you check out Aubrey and I's favorite video just so you can figure out how to be entered in the giveaway that we're going to be doing. So thanks for watching. Bye, guys.